लेकिन बस इतना सा फर्क, धूप छांव में फर्क, बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this special series, Business Opportunity Over Chai. This edition will help you to understand the greatest business opportunity that we brings to you to specially accredited from different industry. So this business opportunity over chai presented by management team of Franchise India, Mr. Gaurav Maria, Chairman of Franchise India Group, and Ms. Sonia Chaudhary, MD at Franchise India Brands Limited. Every day at 12 o'clock, we launch a new brands to explore new business opportunities for you. Today, we brings a great iconic brand called Richesm Healthcare, wherein Richesm is taking care of complete healthcare supplements, Ayurvedic medicines, beauty, nutrition, and wellness products. Currently, they are running 8+ retail outlets in across the pan India, like in Delhi, NCR, Mumbai, and Kolkata, with 50,000 plus orders they have processed online till now. Now we have the team of Richesm. From the team of Richesm, we have Ashish ji and Rahul ji, who will they will help us to know that what kind of franchise opportunity they bring us for. So over to you, Ashish ji and Rahul ji.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. Let me just put on the screen and then we can start. Okay, great. So we are here talking about our company, Richesm Healthcare. ये company लगभग 2 years old है, established in February 2021, and comes from a background of my long-time friend and colleague, Mr. Ashish Agarwal, having founded actually a business in trading in financial products by the name of Richesm Multi Services, and with the focus जो healthcare industry पे है, we got the motivation to start Richesm Healthcare. आज जो हम आपसे बात करेंगे, we will talk about हमें क्या potential यहाँ दिखता है. Just a quick brief about both of us. Both of us have spent a combined of about 25 man years, 10, 11 years for Ashish ji, about 14 years for me in the healthcare retail industry. And उसी experience से जो हमने चाहे जाना है, we got the motivation to start and launch this company. It was started as a portal of richesm.com in February 21, and then as just mentioned, we just have some 8 stores of the company operating. And हमें लगता है that this is an opportunity that is big enough and exciting enough कि इसे हम potential business partners के पास लेके जाएं, and we talk about a franchising model of Richesm stores. So what do? We are a retailer of health, nutrition, wellness and beauty products. And जब हम इस opportunity को offline business में ले जाना चाह रहे हैं, तो we believe that इस umbrella को expand किया जा सकता है by bringing in the traditional health concept of pharmaceuticals also into the ambit. And इसलिए हम जो Richesm stores की बात कर रहे हैं, we are offering the opportunity of opening franchise outlets which retail not just nutrition, health, wellness, beauty, but also pharmaceutical products that can give a better opportunity of scale for this business. आज की डेट में हम लगभग 7,000 products host कर रहे हैं on our website and through our stores, and this number has been quickly ramping up. In the last 6 months, we've grown from about 1,500 products to 7,000, and by March, we plan to take this number to 10 to somewhere between 10 to 12,000 products. This will cover the entire range of nutrition, health, wellness, beauty, and the idea is to be able to give a lot of choice to the customer and a lot of assortment width to our business partners, so that वो अपने catchment market की जो health, wellness, beauty needs हैं, उनको service कर सकें, उनको cater कर सकें. Going forward, जैसे हमारा scale बढ़ेगा, we have also prepared a plan to come up with white label or private label products. Private label products, as we will talk in a little later, are essentially to drive margins and help you make more gross margin profits along with the core traded products in the retail business. जो रेंज की हम बात कर रहे हैं अक्रॉस प्रोटीन्स, सप्लीमेंट्स, विटामिन्स, हेल्थ फूड ड्रिंक्स, हर्बल एंड आयुर्वेदा प्रोडक्ट्स, वेलनेस प्रोडक्ट्स, फार्मास्यूटिकल्स, एलाइड कंज्यूमर गुड्स जो कि पैकेज फूड्स में है, पर्सनल केयर में है, ब्यूटी केयर में है, इन प्रोडक्ट्स की रेंज है जो 7,000 प्रोडक्ट्स की हमने बात की एंड विच वी वांट टू टेक टू 10-12,000. दे आर स्प्रेड अक्रॉस ऑल दीज कैटेगरीज एंड पर्टिकुलरली लास्ट कुछ सालों में हमने देखा है दैट the concept of health has evolved. So from just being a preventive health to from being a curative health, it has become more of holistic preventive healthcare. And इसीलिए products which are in the nutrition, wellness, beauty, supplement stage, these stages are becoming more and more important. Our values, my very close colleague, partner, and the founder of the business, Mr. Ashish, is also on the call. And I think what I should commend about him is the very professional and ethical way in which this business has been established. We plan to scale it up and be compliant for a potential market listing of an IPO. And therefore, the business is completely professionally run. You are more than free to come look at our numbers, look at our the way we professionally run this business, and hum expect karte hain that we get to tie up with business partners also who have a similar approach of running it ethically and professionally. Some of the milestones are partners at Franchise India just quickly talked about it. February 2021 we established this company and हमारा जो ramp up है वो काफी fast रहा है. We've already serviced more than 50,000 orders online, close to about 30,000 plus orders offline. We have already running some 8 outlets, which are essentially in the Ayurveda health wellness space. And the opportunity that we are looking at franchising will also expand to include, as I said, the pharmaceutical category. So what are we looking at? We are looking at growing through scale. Retail health wellness pharmacy business जो है वो एक high turnover low margin business रहा है historically. लेकिन जैसा मैंने अभी बात किया that the change that is coming with the outlook of people towards health, they are becoming more aware of health, more aware of their wellness, about not just good looks but good health inside out. उससे products, उससे opportunities of retailing a wide variety of products has increased. And particularly जो ये पिछले 2-2.5 साल में pandemic disruption रहा, इसमें the health pharma retailing channel became a very strong channel, a very resilient channel, a channel जिसमें disruption बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं हुआ, but जिसकी awareness और जिसका utility जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा establish हुआ in different consumer markets across India. So उसी momentum को use करते हुए we want to grow, or we want to expand pan India. As I said, the entire idea is to become a network. With like-minded business partners joining, we can have many more stores open and we can enjoy the benefit of scale, whether it is in terms of category, whether it is in terms of margins, whether it is in terms of improvising distribution, assortment. ये सब benefits हमें समझ में आता है that with scale we can achieve. Value creation, new company hai, we've spent a lot of time building our reputation. Currently we are involved already in digitizing our supply chain. उस benefit को हम चाहते हैं that हम अपने franchise partners के लिए भी लेके जाएं, which essentially means that जो business है, even for a potential franchise partner, will not remain just a standalone brick and mortar business, but will become more of an omni-channel enabled business. If any of you already have some experience on retail, a standalone retail store का एक limitation रहता है geographically, वो 3-4-5 square kilometer area को cover कर पाते हैं with their physical store. Lekin with the technology coming in, with omni-channel becoming a big and big reality, we believe that we can maximize more of value, and both for stakeholders, for our business partners also, through a more omni-channel business model. So ये opportunity आ कहाँ से रही है? As I said, both me and Ashish ji, we spent close to about 25 man years combined in the health, wellness, pharmaceutical space. और हमें इसमें तीन बड़े buckets दिखते हैं. Obviously, the wellness industry, about 150,000 crores, growing very rapidly. Pandemic में जहां ज्यादातर इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए इट वाज अ हेडविंड, उससे बिजनेस को झटका लगा, उस पे बिजनेस में स्लोनेस आई. बट वेलनेस वाज एन इंडस्ट्री जहां दी ऑपोजिट इम्पैक्ट हैपेंड. दिस बिकेम मोर एंड मोर penetrated, people became more aware about the need of preventive healthcare, and this is an industry that has leapfrogged. I think last 2 years may it managed to cover up scope which would have otherwise taken it about 5 to 10 years in normal time. So that is one bucket we think jahan pe ki growth available hai. These are the kind of categories we believe jisme wellness mein space mein kafi growth hai. Beauty care is big part, but nutritional care is becoming big. Alternate therapy, through which we are bringing in the opportunity to sell even Ayurveda, that is also gaining traction in the Indian market. Then FMCG, it is obviously the biggest market already, and these numbers are in US $1 billion. So this is a huge industry. इसका काफी बड़ा part है जिसका एक overlap होता है with health, and increasingly, I'm sure all of you would have also seen that brands are communicating about the health benefits of products, whether they are food and beverages, packaged foods, whether it is OTC products, even products which are oral care, hair care, skin care. There is a lot of health that is talked about now, because that is the expectation of the customer. जो product हम use कर रहे हैं वो हमारे लिए कहीं harmful तो नहीं है, and in some areas even the health of the environment is being talked about. So kahin na kahin pe health overall as a concept is becoming big driver for the growth. This is the second bucket other than wellness, the FMCG sector. And then of course the pharmacy sector itself एक बहुत consistent industry है, एक काफी बड़ी industry है. It is the third largest retail industry within the overall retail in India after grocery and electronics, and consistent growth hai. Just like wellness, pharmacies also had a tailwind impact from the COVID pandemic. ये एक ऐसा चैनल देखा गया जिसमें नई नई तरह के प्रोडक्ट्स ने, ब्रांड्स ने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया, बिकॉज the accessibility of the customer to this channel was far higher than any other channel. So this has grown big. इसकी बहुत बड़ी penetration है, and हमने जो अपने मॉडल में when we talk about franchising जो इसको include किया है, the big reason is the potential to scale it up, the potential that we can have multiple number of stores, that a lot of business partners can join, and we can have a far bigger scale of operations. आज इंडिया में it is estimated that there are close to about anywhere between 800,000 to 1 million, 10 lakh के करीब तक pharmacy outlets of all shapes and sizes. Most of them, almost about 97%, unorganized trade में हैं, which are standalone chemists या pharmacies हैं. And इसमें एक scope बहुत है of further organization, even from 3%, if this market goes to 10-12%, जो normally mature markets में देखा गया है that organized trade tends to become that much part. तो यहाँ पे scope of growth बहुत है, and therefore we've decided to include that as part of our franchising opportunity. I talked about the unorganized, organized retail. There is also a lot in the news that has recently been about online, about e-commerce also coming into the pharmacy space, and उसका भी अपना एक plus and minus experience रहा है. Plus in terms of, again, the pandemic helped it grow very fast, but also helped it realize the limitations of it very fast. So जब हम एक omni channel मॉडल की तरफ जाते हैं, then we are able to take the best of both worlds, the offline and the online, and that is what we plan to bring through this opportunity into the market. कुछ positives हैं, कुछ negatives हैं, which are I would not call negatives, लेकिन कुछ shortcomings जरूर हैं business models में. So online business largely India में देखा गया है discount driven है. People do go and shop online because they are looking for discounts, and जब ये discounts remove किए गए हैं तो volumes या तो fall हुए हैं या plateau out हो गए हैं बहुत quickly. So only online business also, I think people who have come into this, and some of the big industry players have entered. They're also realizing that only online may not be the future, and the future is more on the omni-channel side. Within this stream also, as I mentioned, that the shift has happened from purely curative to more preventive, and therefore you are seeing health supplements, skincare. These are the products that are becoming fast emerging, and इसकी बहुत adjacency है about the products that we are retailing. The competitive landscape, एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज हमने ऑब्जर्व की है पिछले 3-4 सालों में जो मार्केट में होनी शुरू हुई है. देयर यूज्ड टू बी क्लियरली सम ऑफलाइन केमिस्ट, देयर यूज्ड टू बी ऑनलाइन player, and then there were allied health services like diagnostics was a separate segment altogether, home healthcare was a separate altogether. और पिछले 3-4 सालों में because everybody is fighting for scale, everybody is looking at profitable growth, तो income इनमें एक overlap आना शुरू हुआ है. So Apollo, which is a big name in the pharmacy, has gotten into diagnostics also. They are also looking at competing with Pacto, which is a leader in home healthcare. And the interesting thing across all of this has been that जो एक health retail store format है, the pharmacy plus health wellness format, वो इन सब business plans के center में है. Because of the reach and the penetration of that outlet, the closeness of that outlet to the end customer, हर player चाह रहा है that वो उस outlet के through अपनी services, अपने products को customer तक ले जाए and उस तरह से वो scale achieve कर पाए. And that is where I think our business model is best suited to take advantage of this change, because we are already planning to start and operate as an omni-channel, bringing in not just pharmacy but health, wellness, beauty, nutrition along with that. Just some numbers to give you the potential of scale. These are just numbers in lakhs of the number of registered pharmacists, which you require one per store. As we get into more details, we can talk about it, but just to give an idea that there is a lot of infrastructure and a lot of mature infrastructure that is already available in India, जो आपके लिए available है अगर आप इस line में retail store open करके operate करना चाहते हैं. Value proposition, we talked about how Richesm is going to be an omni-channel player. I think the core value that we bring is that of value for money. We already have tie-ups with our channel partners to help us run the omni-channel, and also to bring in the best rates possible for all products. As I mentioned, that we already have a width of 7,000 plus products, looking at growing it to over 10 to 12,000. And as a potential franchise partner, that is the kind of assortment width जो आपको available रहेगी. And the beauty of technology today is that not everything needs to be carried physically in your store all the time, but you can have a very quick access to it through the kind of supply chain that is developing. And that is what we want to bring in with our business model into the market. Value proposition from a conventional pharmacy, how we are different. I talked about the integrative model. We are not looking at just allopathy, which is largely the preventive healthcare, लेकिन इसके around जो बाकी सब चीजें आप देख पा रहे हैं, complementary medicines, Ayurveda, well-being, herbal medicines, nutrition, personal care, all of these things, there is an opportunity to provide as a retail store. As a retail store, आप purely सिर्फ एक medicine dispensing outlet की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. You're talking of an outlet that is providing service as well as products on the entire health, wellness, beauty side. So these are all the categories that we are looking at providing, and this is not an exhaustive list. ये list we are already committed to updating it and upgrading it and changing it as the market needs change. And that is the beauty of actually a pharmacy dependent or a pharmacy based retail format. The customer tends to come in for their convenience buying, and then they're open to buying even things like grooming products, home care products, diabetes management, even packaged foods. As I mentioned, हमने change देखा in the last 2-3 years since the pandemic happened, that this channel became a very big part even for the core FMCG businesses. So we already talked about our value proposition. हम best discounts provide कर रहे हैं. We are looking at fastest delivery, digitized supply chain. That is what we will offer to you. In a store, there is only such so much amount of inventory you can physically carry, but there is limitless inventory you can carry if you have access to a very responsive and a very fast supply chain. And that is what we want to bring as our model. So franchise के लिए हम क्या बात कर रहे हैं? Let me just quickly talk about what kind of franchise models we are looking at. We are looking at, in first phase, the franchise-owned, franchisee-operated models, a FOFO model as it is called, जहाँ पे these are largely the terms. So the operations are owned and operated by the franchisee with the company which is Richesm Healthcare, providing entire support in terms of setup, in terms of operations, and any kind of teething troubles in terms of getting the technical regulatory requirements in place, even assistance in terms of finalizing a property if one has to be searched, in terms of training the manpower, in providing the initial, obviously the fill up stocks and the regular replenishment that will continue to be a part. But this is a basic broad franchise model that we are looking at. Franchisee owned, franchisee operated is the model, as I mentioned. So you look at the second column from the right. That is the model that we're looking at. Complete ownership of the franchisee, the investments, we will talk a little bit about them. Operations, of course, run by them, but more importantly, supported by the company. So in terms of setup, in terms of brand guidelines, in terms of, if there are any roadblocks that have to be taken care of, any regulatory requirements, we will be providing that help and assistance. So quickly, I will just talk about the two models that we are proposing right now. We are looking at, as I mentioned, the franchise-owned, franchise-operated model. The area requirements are two. The standard model is 400 square feet carpet model है, जिसकी total investment जो है वो लगभग 20 लाख रुपए है, around 10 to 11 lakhs of capital expenditure, which includes 3 lakhs of franchise fee, which is payable once for a 5-year term, and an initial investment of about 8 or 9 lakh rupees. So about 20 lakhs investment hai. We expect these stores to operate at a profit margin of about 25%. These are much better than a typical standalone chemist or a pharmacy store today does because of the product mix that we talked about. So higher margin products from nutrition, health, wellness space, they will help drive the business, and also the average transaction value for the store. And because of that, हम जो payback period estimate कर रहे हैं, that is of about 24 months. जो आपकी ये initial investment है, you can fully recover that in about 24 months, about 2 years from launch. The agreement is for a 5-year period, and post that on mutually agreeable terms, it is extendable. The other model, that is the slightly premium model, we are looking at a bigger square feet area, depending upon again the catchment. And once we get into potential discussion, तो हम बात कर सकते हैं about which are those kind of catchments which we may define as premium catchments, where a bigger area can also be utilized to run this kind of a store, 750 square feet. The investment here will be close to about 50 lakhs, about 25 lakhs on inventory, जिसमें कि एक large part रहेगा of the lifestyle products, the products which are more on the beauty, wellness, nutrition space, slightly more premium products, and increasingly इनकी बहुत demand है इंडिया में. And the about 20 lakhs odd will be the capital expenditure, the store build out, the computer peripherals, the infrastructure cost, and 4.5 lakhs is your franchise fee. So about 50 lakh total investment here. Similar kind of gross profit margins, maybe even higher, because the depending upon the catchment, it is quite likely, हमारे अपने experience में हमने देखा है that premium catchments में higher margin lifestyle products tend to sell more. The customer is more open and more willing to pay for those. Nevertheless, the payback period remains about 2 years. Iska ramp up is much faster. And again, the franchise fee of 4.5 lakhs is valid for 5 years, same as the 400 square feet model. What we are looking for, we are open to discussing this opportunity with the wide variety of people across India. हम जो ज़्यादा importantly देखना चाह रहे हैं are people who are willing to be hands-on with this business. There is obviously an opportunity that you can invest and then have a team run it. लेकिन our preference would be somebody who is wanting to be hands-on at least for the initial 6 months, 1 year period, because आपके catchment के लिए, आपके customers के लिए ये एक trust का, एक relationship का business है. And I think people who have the stakes of the business, जिनका पैसा लगा है, it helps to have people who can make not just the investment but also take time and provide their time and effort into the business. Where are we looking at these stores? We believe that tier 2 and tier 3 towns of India, जहाँ पे population is between 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, provide the biggest opportunity. That does not mean that we are not open to the bigger places, but those are the biggest opportunity places, because वहाँ पे अभी जो organized retail trade है in this segment, that is not present. So if you do get to set up and run a store which is organized, gives a different kind of a customer experience, आपको एक first mover advantage मिलता है. And वो एक opportunity काफी बड़ी इंडिया में अभी available है. There are I would say more than 300 to 400 such towns and cities which are available, जहाँ पे organized trade penetration in this industry is very low. So that is our first preference, but very open to even looking at pockets within metros, mini metros, or tier 1 towns and cities. As I mentioned, that there are only about there are close to about 1 million, 10 lakh trade outlets हैं जो आज की डेट में pharmaceutical या health products में retailing करते हैं, and just under 3% of them are organized trade. And so there is a huge opportunity. This opportunity is across urban India, across all these towns and partners. That is where we are looking at. Rollout, we begin as soon as post this webinar today. This plan is now available for you to inquire more about and get into discussions, and we are ready to roll it out ASAP. So that was a brief about the company. I would give back to the Franchise India team. For any questions, we are available and willing to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rahul, for explaining so clearly that everyone has got the clarity of the model. We have few questions like what is the category contribution do we expect? And what are all the margins? The margins which we have told is like blended margin, or is there like any differences in margins?
जी, सो मैं आपके दोनों पार्ट्स आंसर करता हूँ. दी कैटेगरी कंट्रीब्यूशन, वी एक्सपेक्ट दैट जो हमारा स्टैंडर्ड 400 स्क्वायर फीट मॉडल है, which would be, I would say, could be about 60%, 70% of our stores. About by value, 50% of the business should come from the pharmaceuticals, medicines, because there will be more transactions on that category. And then the other 50% by value could come from the slightly more higher value lifestyle products, which are in the nutrition, wellness, beauty space. And जो margins हैं, the gross margin of 25% is a blended margin, because आपका जो medicine category है, pharmaceutical है, वो काफी competitive है, so there will be some amount of discounting on the MRP. In India, depending on the geography, it tends to be between 5 to 10% currently. So the margins are the lowest within these categories on pharmaceutical, which can be about post discount could be around 20%. But जो आपका balance 50% portfolio है, there the margins can be as high as between 30 to 40% depending on the product category. And the blended margin, therefore, we just assumed in the model to be 25%. मैंने अपने experience में देखा है that in slightly more premium catchments, जहाँ पे people are more aware and more willing to try new products, in this kind of a format, we have been able to stretch gross margins to almost as high as 35% also. And 30%, 32% is pretty common as a gross margin.
Yeah. So now another question on the similar lines, ki if at all these margins are like maybe thin margins, and even on that we have to give the discounting. So how do we work on omni-channel? Because omni-channel is somewhere discounting is always higher.
So that's a valid question, Mahesh ji, but you know the reality is that अगर आज market में 10 customers हैं, there will be 2 or 3 who are very extremely sensitive to discounting. I would not deny कि उसकी noise बहुत है. हम जब online e-commerce की बात करते हैं तो we hear discounts like 25% and all. But जब आप उसके detailing में जाते हैं तो वो real में those are not the discounts. Because कोई भी you know the जो इंडस्ट्री जिस तरह से स्ट्रक्चर्ड है, अगर कोई भी आपको कंसिस्टेंटली 25% मार्जिन डिस्काउंट देगा, they will not survive in this industry. So either they are misleading you on margins, or they are doing something with the product, or something XYZ. The consistent margins जो आपका stable discounting है, वो between, as I said, depending on geography, between 5 to 10% है. And in our experience, अभी भी जो customer है इंडिया में, they are more, this is a trade of faith and trust. You know, there are a lot of players who are standalone players जो इस इंडस्ट्री में 30-40 साल से हैं. For their own reason they have not expanded, but उनका जो सबसे strong point रहा है वो ये है कि जिस catchment में वो बैठे हैं, they have a lot of trust and faith. Omni channel का जो हमारा point था, that was not to equip people to fight on margins. वो तो एक हमारे हिसाब से वो तो एक bottomless pit है. आप एक बार margin की लड़ाई में घुस जाएंगे तो सिर्फ ही वही करते रहेंगे. Believe me, हमने अपने experience में देखा है that the customer is very open to a good experience, to trust, to getting knowledge from the retail partner कि भाई मुझे ये product के बारे में पता चला है, क्या आप मुझे इसके बारे में और better बता सकते हैं, and they place a premium on that. So while it is not easy, which no business is, I mean आप market में जाएंगे, you will have to face competition, but there is a fair scope here to build your business depending on not on just discounting, but in terms of the assortment. And जो हमने बार-बार बात की, that is why we are bringing such a wide assortment availability. That in itself is a big competitive advantage जब आप market में बैठते हैं. And of course service.
And when contribution of a like high margin product increases, then your overall margin also gets increases.
Yes, yes, yes.
So another question on the similar lines, if at all, like going forward, if you are maybe for that particular pin code, you are attaching the franchisee operator, which is operating in the same catchment. So deliveries and all these also cost that will be added into the additional cost. So how the margins will be playing? Like will there be any discounts, or will be giving on maybe flat rates?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? This is delivery from the store or delivery
Yeah,
from
so
the company?
so you told me told na ki it can be like going forward you can it will be maybe ordered from your site and will be delivered from the particular stores, isn't it? So delivery charges will be paid by the person who is delivering that store. So that will also be added into the cost and margins will
No,
be
no,
added.
no, 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 no. That will not be it. So the omni-channel model will be slightly different. It will not be like our a franchise partner will not be ordering like a customer from the website. What we are working on is to have a portal within that website for them to log into, where they can place their orders which are maybe not physically present. So जो भी हम उनको stocks regularly भी supply कर रहे हैं, similarly way it is delivered to their doorstep.
Okay, okay. And there was mentioned in PPT that it is like in convenience model wherein you are also operating 24 hours. So do we have any 24 hours model also ready?
No, no, no. So this 24 hours is because of the omni-channel. There is a capability that is available. Uh, we have in our experience in the corporate worked on and operated 24-hour stores. They do not add so much to the top line, but they are just more of a service and a branding opportunity कि ठीक है आप इस catchment में हैं, you are a store that is open 24/7. And we have expertise and understanding. If there is somebody who is open and willing to do that, we can provide that guidance. But obviously, adding another additional 10 to 12 hours of operation means additional operating cost. So that is something that case to case we will have to see how much of justification that makes.
So how the inventory management is being done? So you have mentioned that it is a consignment basis model, so wherein you will be taking 100% correction, whatever not being sold, and touching their expiry date.
No, no, no. So there is we can get into details in terms of how the returns will happen for anything that is either not sold or if there is and that is where I talked about that we are working on digitizing supply chain. So not only do you return it to the company, but can fellow franchisee partners exchange goods amongst themselves. ये सब चीजें because of IT capability आ रही है इतनी ज़्यादा streamline हो रहा है supply chain. We will offer that. जो प्रोडक्ट्स रेगुलर आपके ट्रेड में अवेलेबल है दे विल बी ऑन नॉट ऑन कंसाइनमेंट बेसिस दे विल बी ऑन एन आउटराइट परचेज बेसिस. तो जैसा जो आप इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं ऑफ 20 lakhs इन 400 square feet या अबाउट 50 lakhs, उसमें करीब 8 लाख रुपए इन द 400 एंड अबाउट 25 lakhs इज द इन्वेस्टमेंट इनटू द इन्वेंटरी, that
That
initial
is on
fill that we are
outright.
giving.
That is on
That is on outright that we are presenting to you. However, the beauty of this trade is that unlike a lot of other trades, जैसे F&B में होता है, there is a lot of expiry that happens just because of the product going stale. वो नहीं है यहाँ पे. The supply chain is quite mature, and that assistance we will provide. If there is anything that is non-moving, if it is becomes short shelf life, जो obviously आप नहीं retain कर पाएंगे, there is a reverse supply chain that is already established, and we will provide that support.
So is there any percentage that you will be doing the correction, stock correction, or will it be like case to case basis?
No, so the correction actually only happens in terms of the GST component, and the rest of the amount is getting reimbursed to the. That's a standard norm in the industry.
Okay.
And there may be a few brands which have slightly more stricter norms. So brands like P&G, Nestle, which will not be very big part, but will be an important part of this retail assortment. They tend to not. They tend to give, let's say, a 0.5% extra as a margin, which we will obviously facilitate to the franchise partner. But we will be there to guide because those are inventories that may not be returnable.
Correct. So the first model which we talked about, it was like 450 square feet kind of. So what is
400 square feet.
Because it is like written that it is capex is like 10 to 11 lakh, correct? So does it include 3 lakh rupees of franchise fee? Because capex is different. So how does it sum it up? Like if it completely comes around 18 lakhs or 20 lakhs? That is
so the broad breakup of 20 lakhs is about 3 lakhs is a franchise fee, which is payable once 5 years. Then there is a 10-11 lakh rupees of capex, which includes your the store build out cost, the cost for the computer peripherals and all of that infrastructure. and the rest is the inventory, which is about, we estimate for a 400 square feet, the on cost, it will come to about 8 lakh rupees. So that is our sum total of about around 20 lakh.
It will be higher than that because if it is
MRP wise, it will be higher. Yes, yes.
As far as like bigger model is concerned, so what will be the total cost if we can get the breakup of that too?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, for bigger model, 50 lakh you have told the total expenditure. So what is the breakup for that 50 lakhs for bigger model?
So bigger model, 4.5 lakhs is the franchise fee. About 25 lakhs is the inventory, and the rest is the capex plus your the infrastructure cost.
Perfect. And the rollout cities you have talked about. So what is the rollout city? Actually, you are the top priority. Maybe if what comes into your mind, if I talk about what are the city you are currently looking at? Maybe some.
See, so as I mentioned, I think we would prefer that there is a that we start with the tier 2 and tier 3 opportunities, and some of the cities that immediately come to my mind, which we are looking at: Chandigarh, Bhubaneswar. We are looking at Visakhapatnam. These are the opportunities that we believe are really big. We are looking at Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Kochi, Indore, Lucknow, Coimbatore. See, so some of the cities that in our experience from our industry knowledge, we know that there is a lot of growth happening otherwise in the local economy there. And interestingly, the penetration of organized retail is very low. So if we set up a corporate store there today, if a franchise partner sets up, let's say in a place like Lucknow, somebody signs up multiple stores also, I think they have a clear first mover advantage. And जो मैंने बात की, that out of the 1 million outlets, only about 10,000 odd outlets are the big company owned. Most of that concentration has been only in metros and tier 1 towns.
You talked about a city like Coimbatore. So how distribution center, where do we have the distribution center located?
Currently, our distribution centers are, so we have a warehousing operation based out of Noida, which caters to Delhi NCR and certain parts of North. And we also have one in Gurgaon. In our model, we are clear that at a cluster of about 10 stores minimum, we will establish a warehousing in that cluster. So let's say we sign up 15 stores in Kolkata or 10 stores, then we establish a warehousing there. Because at that level, it becomes viable, not just in terms of business viability, but in terms of just generating and handling volumes at about that.
So that means we are also open for master franchisee kind of thing also, so that we can create a cluster also, and we can even give those operations also to the master franchisees, isn't it?
Yes. We have not, the opportunity we talked about were for individual franchise stores. But if there is an opportunity for master franchisee that comes in for a particular cluster, if somebody is interested, we can have a separate detailed discussion, and we are open to that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rahul Yashiji. To the audience, if you have any question, please ask in the Q&A box. We'll be happy to answer here itself. So Rahulji, meanwhile, people may be like asking me various questions. How would you differentiate yourself from other competitors? Although you have mentioned during your slide presentation, but what is the core USP which you think you have that other competitor do not have?
See, our core USP is, and what we've already experienced, even with a very small scale of operation that we currently have, is the value of buying. And that's the core for that should be the core for any trading. We have been able to bring a very big width of assortment. As I said, our aspiration is to have about 10 to 12,000 products or SKUs in our assortment, and we want to be able to be the cheapest source of sourcing those products in the market. That is very clearly our USP right now. As we build a chain of stores, as we build the clusters of stores, then we want to start investing in terms of some technology to enable more of consumer relationship marketing and all. Those are still paper plans. It will actually happen as the network progresses. But when we launch, I think the biggest strength available to the people is that they can be assured they are buying it at the best rates possible, and they have the widgets, the widest assortment available to them.
So normally one point comes to the everybody's mind ki if somebody is associating as a partner, a channel partner, so what will be the support given by the brand? So as far as especially for the marketing and for this pharmacy sector, manpower also, because they will be needing a drug license, they will also be needing maybe a pharmacist. So how do we go about it?
Yeah. So there will be a couple of 2-3 such licenses that will be required: a drug license, a food license, obviously a shop and establishment act license. Uh, Most of them have become fairly easy because they are now an online process, but we will be available there to help assist do that initially. And as I said, the company will be involved step by step till the time the store actually launches operation. Not just in terms of getting these regulatory requirements in place, but also training the manpower. Even in fact, even help in sourcing the manpower. So every store will require at least one minimum registered pharmacist for that particular state, and we will assist that. We have experience enough in the team of having recruited across India, across different states, have linkages through pharma degree colleges, diploma colleges, and enough pipeline available, and we will obviously be available to assist them. Other than that, as part of the launch program only, we will be training these people as well. So, one of the things they'll be paying for as the franchise fee is for the computer peripherals, which will come with a point of sale software for which these staff will be trained in terms of operations, and what are the things to keep in mind for daily operations of stores.
Very well explained, Rahulji. Thank you so much. So Harshita, over to you if you have anything.
Thank you so much, Ashish ji, Rahul ji, and Manish sir for explaining us very well manner so that my investor will get an idea that what brand we brings up. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you, audience, for hearing us. Please do join us on our Naya Saal Naya Business webinar that we are doing. It's a Bharat Franchise Show 5-day series. So today is the last edition that we are doing education and service. The webinar starts from 7. You can, for registration, you can call on a hotline number 9717683838, or you can do email us on feedback@franchiseindia.in. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.